This morning, new details are emerging about Kanye West's alleged mental state as he was rushed to the hospital.
West was being treated for sleep deprivation when his doctor reportedly called 911 saying he was psychotic.
Steve Jobs is dead.
George Bush doesn't care about black people.
Just mind control.
I just told you who I thought I was.
2 days later, I'm in the hospital. I was taking 2 pills a day at that time. When I left the hospital, how many pills you think I was given? 7. I went from taking 2 pills to taking 7.
You ain't got the answers. You ain't got the answers. You ain't got the answers, Sway. I've been doing this more than you. You ain't got the answers.
I said, take a fucking another photo, man. Don't take another fucking photo, man.
I just got here, homie.
Don't take no photos.
Okay.
Stop it.
Brother,
all of you motherfuckers, stop it, man.
I just got here, brother. I just got here.
Hip hop started out in the park.
Dude, get off the property. Shut the up. I am the #1 most impactful artist of our generation.
The death Saturday of Dr. Donda West, the mother of Kanye West, leaves a void in one of the more public and endearing familial relationships in hip-hop.
My mother was my everything.
Donda West raised her son as a single parent in Atlanta and Chicago, and Kanye was very open in his affection for her and her nurturing of his talent and ambition. She was a constant presence in her son's life, supporting him at events and defending him from critics. Their close relationship informed Kanye's music, most famously on the song Hey Mama, one of the first tracks Kanye ever wrote.
I wanna scream so loud for you, cause I'm so proud of you, and let me tell you what I'm about to do, mama.
In recent years, Donda West was even more of a beacon for Kanye's career, leaving a 31-year profession in academia in 2004 to head Kanye's educational nonprofit and serve as chief executive of all his businesses.
Even me sitting back thinking about all the stuff now that my mother has done for me, it makes me want to call her.
Dr. Donda West was 58 years old when she passed.
But before they perform, this really wasn't planned. We did this at kind of last minute. Kanye wanted to talk, so please welcome Kanye West.
Have a seat, my friend. First of all, let me say
thank you for honoring this commitment. A lot of times, things happen, they kind of back out the last minute, or they have a publicist or someone call and say, oh, I'm sorry, my client's not available. So thank you for coming and doing this in light of all the things that are going on. When did it strike you,
Like soon as I gave the mic back to her and then she didn't keep going, I went.
Let me ask something. I was fortunate enough to meet your mom and talk with your mom a number of years ago. What do you think she would have said about this? Would she be disappointed in this? Would she give you a lecture?
Yeah, you know, obviously, you know, I deal with hurt, and, you know, so many, you know, celebrities, they never take the time off, and I've never taken the time off to really, you know, I just music after music and tour after tour and tour, and I'm just ashamed that my hurt caused, you know, someone else's hurt. My dream of what award shows were supposed to be caused, you know, and I don't try to justify it because I was just in the wrong. That's period. But I need to, after this, take some time off and just analyze how I'm gonna, you know, make it through the rest of this life, how I'm gonna improve, and because I am a celebrity and that's something I have to deal with.
Yeah.
And if there's anything I could do to help Taylor in the future or help anyone, I like, because, you know, I wanna live this thing. It's hard, you know, it's sometimes, so.
Okay. Hey, listen, thanks for coming here, and thanks for doing that.
I didn't know we were gonna lose her. You know, I just, and she told me, she said, you know, thank you for the times where, you know, we came to performances, and this is like really meant a lot to me. You know, she would,
wanna take a minute? I'll take a minute. Let's take a minute. See you, crew. Want to take some time? Yeah, that's good. No problem.
Hey, stop it. Hey, radio, fuck you. Radio, fuck you.
Time for the crazy rant.
Y'all don't want to lose again. A lot of people here tonight felt like they lost. You know why? Because y'all been lied to. Google lied to you. Facebook lied to you. Radio lied to you. Radio, fuck you. Oh yeah, I'm on my Trump shit tonight. Radio, fuck you. Yeah, I'm taking his lead. I'ma just say how I say. I'ma just be gay and win. I'ma take his lead. Radio, fuck you. Radio, fuck you. Wait a second, you say, hey, wait a second. Hey, is it radio, fuck you? That's what you say? Exactly. Now, not fuck the people that work at radio. Because these is real people that gotta feed their kids. And they not being allowed to play that real shit. Because they think that in order to feed their kids, they gotta play the same shit over and over and over. And let me tell you something. MTV, fuck you. Once again, as always, I'm on my Trump shit tonight. Obama couldn't make America great because he couldn't beat him to be who he was. Black men have been slaves. Obama wasn't allowed to do this. And still win. He had to be perfect. But being perfect don't always change shit, bro. Being perfect don't always change shit, bro. Hey, nigga, don't throw no shit while I'm talking. I am putting my career, my life, my public well-standing at risk when I talk to y'all like this. This is a moment in the matrix, bro. The vibes is back. We are all equal, but sometimes we be playing the politics too much and forgetting who we are. Just to win. Fuck winning. Fuck looking cool. Fuck looking cool. Fuck being cool. Fuck all that, bro. I've been sent here to give y'all my truth, even at the risk of my own life, even at the risk of my own success, my own career. I was hurt. Feelings matter, bro. The way motherfuckers put money up so high. Popularity, radio spins. Feelings matter, bro. Feelings matter, bro. It's a new world, Hillary Clinton. You might not like it, but they gotta hear it. I ain't here to massage you with a fake truth, telling you that Hillary gonna win over and over and over, and you wake up, you still can't believe it. You know why? Because you was lied to by Google. You was lied to by Mark Zuckerberg. Mark Zuckerberg, you wanna call me now? Do I got the vision, Mark Zuckerberg? Was you wrong? When I said I was $53 million in debt and you didn't call me, was you wrong? There's a Richard Pryor interview that you can walk about people coming into power and not changing anything and just becoming part of the power. That's happened with musicians because they scared. I'm not scared. I'm here to change things. I am here to change things. But things won't change until people admit they own falsehoods. Right now, press, get ready to write your passive-aggressive LeBron James racist comments, season 4 racist comments. Get ready to have a field day, press. Get ready, because the show's over.
Kanye West is still in the hospital after having a nervous breakdown last Monday. According to an insider, West's breakdown was the result of his mother's funeral anniversary. According to the source, West has never come to terms with his mother's death, and he was already suffering from paranoia and extreme sleep deprivation. According to the source, Kim has spent hours by Kanye's side, and she's keeping the kids away from him for fear of their safety. Kim says that not much has changed since he was admitted and that his doctors seem concerned.
No matter where you go, my love is so Kanye's mother, Donda, passed away at the age of 58 in 2007 from heart disease, while also suffering complications from plastic surgery. Now, 8 years later, Kanye is opening up about her death to Q Magazine. The 38-year-old rapper tells the mag, "If I had never moved to LA, she'd be alive. I don't want to go far into it because it will bring me to tears." The topic came up when Kanye was asked what he had to sacrifice for his success. He said, "My mom."
Tell me about Kanye. How's he doing? Have you seen him lately?
Went to his house. I was going to go back last week, but we couldn't get together. He had some other stuff he had to do. But I went to his house, sat down with him for about 6-7 hours, and just walking through his health and recovery. His memory's coming back. Yeah, his memory's coming back, which is super good. And just healing. Spending time with his family. Saint is getting big, and he's walking and playing with toys, so, that invigorates him.
Do you think is he working on anything right now, or just taking
Not working, just going through processes.
Man, when I see those pictures, I be really concerned. It bothers me because I love him. I love him like a brother, and I seen this transition, and I feel like as opposed to the media, talking down on him and this and that, and as opposed to a lot of these people that I see in these pictures with him, in the pictures smiling and acting like everything is normal. You could clearly look at this man's face and see something ain't right. And none of y'all saying shit. And y'all saying y'all love him and y'all his friend. And what are you all doing to make things better? A lot of people was like, yo, GL, you went on the radio and you said this about Ye. Man, that was some real shit. You said the shit that everybody be feeling, but won't nobody say it. Of course I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna say it because it needs to be said. I remember this young, vibrant, invincible dude who, no matter what people said he couldn't do, he just did it. He still does it to this day. He still has the power to do so. But from the photographs, it just seems like something is not right and something is not there. And it seems like, it makes me wonder, like, what have they done to him? And I don't know who they is, but it makes me feel like somebody did something to him, or somebody that gave him something, or slipped him a Mickey or something. Something ain't right, you know what I'm saying? So when people say it's not the old Kanye, it's not the old Kanye. My thing is, I feel like more so than people trying to judge him, I feel like people need to try to help him and get him some help, because something ain't right, and I can see it clear as day. You know, it's like Kanye's always been a sponge. So if you allow a sponge to be around different environments, it's a good chance that's what they're gonna absorb and that's what they'll become. These are the character traits that they'll take on. And I was reading in the 48 Laws of Power, if you ever wanna retain power or seize power from someone else, or get somebody to manipulate them to do whatever it is you want them to do, you definitely got to do everything in your power to remove those that love him away from him. And they did that.
So when you get ready to date somebody, they prefer you to date someone in the industry because they wicked. You see, they got to keep you wicked. So it's no wonder that Kanye West loved Kim Kardashian, because she's a wicked one. She'd have been passed around like a baton. So now y'all understand why they, Kim Kardashian quit somebody else pick her back up. They want you to have somebody in the industry because y'all all demonic and under spell.
The elite, they're not going to let these black folks keep all that money. Slowly but surely, they're gonna strip them down to a sum amount, and that's what they're going to be subjected to. And every month, that's what they're going to get in their account. All these millions and on top of millions, they're gonna stop that. You see what they put these niggas back in place. They know that the only way out of this devil worshiping is death. And when they get tired of doing it, that's when they start exposing it. We're going to send you a letter and answer it within a 24-hour period, and we'll tell you what we can give you. What you mean a letter, man? Just tell them right here. No. Go home. We're going to send you a letter. And that letter they're going to explain. But it's going to be coded like what they want him to do if he's willing to do this. You see, it's just like nursery rhymes. And you're like, what? If I do what? Well, I don't understand the letter. Give us your mama, and we'll put you in the $20 million club. Man, you crazy. And if you weak, you ain't got the Lord on your side, you sitting at home in that dark room, you tired of eating Roman noodles, you ain't got no running water, electricity out, you buy a candle going, all right, man, she work, downtown, she get off at 6. What I supposed to do? Set it up, have her at home, you catch a plane, go somewhere for a couple of days, and we'll send you a text. All right. A week later, they give them a text. They won't say that she's dead. They'll be like, the party was great. Thanks for showing up. Because it's like coded. They ain't going to just come out and say they killed her, right? He heard on the news she dead. He breaks down. He goes to his bank account. He got $20 million in his bank account. He slowly forget his mama. Ask Kanye West. That's how he got down.
Hollywood is the one that keeps all this power structure and all this culture of racism and sexism and classism and genderism and all of it in place. They continually feed it, and they make a lot of money doing it. And they do it at the behest of their masters who run everything. But that's the culture. It's a culture of fear for sure. And it's a big culture of mind control too. MKULTRA mind control rules in Hollywood. If you don't know, Google that and look into it.
I just want to talk about mind control. When people try to influence you through social media and try to tell you what to do, or if you post something that's like positive on Instagram and it gets taken down, if it's not a part of a bigger agenda, that's like mind control. That's the echo chamber. That's trying to control you based off of incentivizing you and based off of you getting enough likes. And that's the poison that's happening with social media. The worst thing, the way I feel like when people try to tell me what to do, I feel like they're touching my brain. People on social media, people trying to control us and say that we make us all monolithic thought, and they're trying to control our mind They're trying to control my mind. And when someone tries to tell me what to do, tries to tell me what I can wear and not wear, I feel like they're touching my brain. Imagine you like cut your like skull open and somebody like touch their brain, touch your brain with their hand. How that would hurt you. That's how it hurts me when people try to tell me what to do when I'm going for my heart. Try to tell me what to say. This ain't program. Or try to tell me I'm not talking clear enough. Like, I don't clear. I say we doing. Like, I've forgotten how to talk not clear because I'm so programmed to talk clear, to sound so proper. That gets in the way of how we really feel. You know, we think so much. You know, you got to just question, like, when people get on TV shows and, you know, who all are they doing business with? What are they connected to? What's their agenda? You got people holding other people down. They want y'all all to be, you know, just mind control. It's like a modern day psychological, like Ayn Rand control thing. Like, one of the things they do, like, as soon as you get money, they make you buy a house. Like, I got this house, it's never finished. Like, the house is just never finished. It's just costing money after money after money. It's like this big plot. And like, yo, I'm really doing this because, like, I went to go buy my publishing from Sony ATV, and they said it's $8 million, $9 million. And when I went to buy it, they told me, no, I couldn't buy my publishing. They told me I have the money to buy my publishing, and they told me that I couldn't buy my publishing. And it's like the control. Like, I can't say what I want to say on SNL. Then I can't say what I want to say. The thing is, let me change that. I will positive energy into the universe. We will say what we feel, not what we're programmed to think. We will say what we feel. We will do what we feel. We will do what we feel. We will do what we feel. We will say what we feel. We will say. You see, I did that as a mantra. I did it multiple times. And then you'll get like, man, I'm not worried about any type of blog or social media. Y'all already saw it was a lie. Social media told you that Hillary was gonna win and she didn't win. Social media told you that people didn't like me, but everybody loves me. Everybody loves Ye. So don't get it gassed up when you hear too much other stuff on the radio. That's all programming. It's all part of a system. It's all part of a system to control your mind, to control my mind, to make me look like I'm crazy to you. I am not crazy.
Please welcome the one and only Kanye West.
Now, I love the shoes you have on, but I saw you had these backstage.
Uh-huh. No, I was wearing those earlier, but I'm wearing my shoes now. You wear your shoes, I'm going to wear my shoes.
I decided to sign these and, like, bring these out. But if you don't want to wear them,
come here, wait. No. But what do you mean? You signed them?
Yes.
Look at that. Thanks a whole lot. Now, why do I want to walk on that? Now that you've signed them. Now I'll sign mine for you, and I'll give them to you.
Thank you.
I sent some to Kim, by the way.
Oh, I'll ask her about them.
Yeah, you should. I'd like to ask her about them. I sent them to her. No, she wears them. I've seen them. So congratulations on the brand new baby. He's how old now? 5 months?
Yes.
Look at that. Look at that. Not a care in the world. He is absolutely beautiful. Now, we do feel, Portia and I feel responsible for naming him. We sent you, remember that? We were sending all these names, and she sent St. Vincent, but it's pronounced Saint, and I knew you were going to see Saint and go, do you remember that? We were sending tons of names, and then you wrote back, I like Saint.
No.
Do not act like you don't remember that. We were sending a million names. All right, well, it happened. And how is the North is a big sister? She's good?
Yeah, she's awesome.
She's not jealous in any way?
Sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But mostly, does she do anything to, like, take care of him? Or she's too young?
No, she does.
What does
She's
she
really
do?
advanced for her age.
What does she do?
She'll prop him up on the pillow. Sometimes.
That does sound advanced. Now, are you done, or will you have more children? Do you want more children?
Maybe.
Does Kim want more children?
Perhaps.
That's not. That's not what she said.
That's what she said?
Yeah, she doesn't. She doesn't want more.
Okay.
But you want more?
Let's see what happens.
I'll tell you what's going to happen. Nothing. I mean, that's really thoughtful. Because you're so creative, you must have all these ideas and just look forward to, like, events so that you can do that. Do you ever do things just for the hell of it, and it's not an event, not a birthday or a Mother's Day?
I think when you're in love, every day should be Mother's Day. Every day should be like a birthday.
There you go. And you're also very, very open-minded, and Kim credits you for helping her kind of accept and understand Caitlyn's journey into Bruce becoming Caitlyn. And where did that come from? Where did that understanding and compassion come from that you would help them?
Just my mom and my dad, like, pushing the confidence and just, you know, knowing that people have to be themselves and we have to fight. We're creating new shapes in the world every day, and, you know, we're under attack constantly by conventional opinion. And, you know, somebody's got to just plant both of their feet and say, nah, that. People can be who they are.
Yeah.
You know? What's that? You're not allowed to say that?
No, you can't say that. All right, we're going to take a break so the censors can get a hold of this, and we'll come back and curse some more with Kanye. We're back with Kanye West. And talking about, you really do, you express yourself, and sometimes you express yourself in ways that people don't really understand, and you express yourself in ways that you're unapologetic for. Like, you send things out on Twitter, and sometimes, like Kim has said, and I'll tell you this also, I don't know if she's told you this, along with not wanting more children, but Kim has said that...
I'm fine to just practice.
Yeah. That's all I get to do. But Kim has said that there should be a board of directors that goes through your tweets. Like, when you have an idea, you should give them to Kim and a bunch of people, and they go, okay, you can tweet that, or no, you cannot tweet that. Yeah. Do you think you should have a board of directors?
Absolutely not.
No.
Yeah.
Everything you tweet, you think, even, have you regretted anything that you've tweeted?
Nope.
Nothing. Never. You don't go, maybe I should have thought about that a little longer?
What's the point of thinking?
What's the point of thinking? Well, sometimes I understand, but sometimes there is a point to thinking. And then you tweeted out that you wanted Mark Zuckerberg to give you $53 million. In hindsight, should that have gone on Facebook?
Yes.
Yes.
I should have put it on Facebook. Now I understand why he didn't hit me back. He was.
Yeah.
I understand that Zuckerberg doesn't use Twitter.
Yeah.
Even though I have had dinner with him and his wife and told him about how I wanted to help the world, and he said he'd help me, and then blah, blah, blah. And like, that's how it feels though. You know, it's like the pursuit of happiness. Like, it's like you're trying to sell this bone density machine or something, you know, in that movie. I feel that if I had more resources, I could help more people. I have ideas that can make the human race existence within our 100 years better, period. The paparazzi, whatever perception you have of me, starting with the truth, starting with what everyone's thinking, start there, put some dope with it.
Okay, I'm with you.
Ye is in the building. Throw your hands in the air right now. Put your hands in the air right now. Yeah? Okay.
All right, I'm with you on the truth part. When you say put some dope with it, just give me one example. Just get what the idea is, because maybe somebody watching will give you the money.
Well, we're in a renaissance period. We're in a place where people are like multidisciplined artists, like Steve McQueen that directed 12 Years a Slave. He was considered to just be a photographer, but then he won an Oscar. We're not in a place where people can only have one career, one profession throughout their entire life. So the exact amount of emotion and color palette and sonics and everything that I put into my music, I put them into the shoes, and they worked. You know, people never write, they be like, Kanye's pissing everybody off, Kanye's making so mad. They try to position it through the media in some way that I'm like, whatever your friends might say. You know, so we saw Kanye, how was he? Did he like, but I care about people. I care about, my dad lived in homeless shelters less than 5 years ago. To find out, he's a psych major. My mom was the first black female chair of the English department at Chicago State University. I was raised to do something, to make a difference, to take, you know, I didn't take the Oscars as a joke. It was funny, you know what I'm saying? It was like the moment, like all black, you know, actors can talk about the glass ceilings that we've dealt with out in this town. And it's you get your night, go ahead. Chris Rock's gonna do it. Bam, talk about how many times you've been blocked from being able to excel. I didn't take it as a joke. It ain't no joke, as Rakim said. It ain't no joke. I used to let the mic smoke. Now I slam it and make sure it's broke. That's what I was raised on, Rakim, Fife Dog, hip hop, expression, hip hop. Started out in the park. Now everybody's trying to charge. I don't give a how much you sold. If you playing on radio, are you connecting? Picasso is dead. Steve Jobs is dead. Walt Disney is dead. Name somebody living that you can name in the same breath as them. Don't tell me about being likable. We got 100 years here. We're one race, the human race, one civilization. We're a blip in the existence of the universe. And we constantly trying to pull each other down, not doing things to help each other. That's my point. It's like I'm shaking talking about, I know it's daytime TV, but I feel that I can make a difference while I'm here. I feel that I can make things better through my skill set. My skills, I'm an artist. 5 years old, art school, PhD, Art Institute of Chicago. I am an artist. I have a condition called synesthesia where I see sounds. I see them. Everything that I sonically make is a painting. I see it. I see the importance. I see the importance and the value of everyone being able to experience a more beautiful life. When I make clothes, it's funny because I would sit there with Obama and Leo's talking about the environment, and then I'm talking about clothes, and everyone looks at me like, that's not an important issue or something. But I remember going to school, like in 5th grade and wanting to have a cool outfit. I called the head of Payless. I'm like, I want to work with you. I want to take all this information that I learned from sitting at all these fashion shows and knocking at all these doors and buying all this expensive clothes, and I want to take away bullying. You know, I want to. Michael Jackson and Russell Simmons is the reason why I was able to go so far in music. There was a time when Michael Jackson couldn't get his video on MTV because he was considered to be urban. The Michael Jackson. So I literally have to be Michael Jackson of apparel in order to break open the doors for everyone that will come after I'm gone, after I'm dead, after they call me Wacko Kanye. Isn't that so funny? The people point fingers at the people who have influenced us the most. They talk the most about the people who cared the most. I'm sorry, daytime television. I'm sorry for the realness.
Now, it's not daytime television anymore. We're going to take a break, and we're going to come back, and we're going to play 5-second rule, which should be very fun with Kanye. We're back with Kanye West. We're trying to get him to come out of his shell. And first of all, before we play the game, we didn't talk about the album, Life of Pablo, which is, I assume, Picasso? Is that what you were talking about, or it could be anything?
Well, there's Picasso, there's Escobar, and there's St. Paul.
Okay, so we don't know.
Yeah.
So it is a brilliant record, and congratulations. And it's, as they all are.
Yeah.
And of course, you remember that I came up with the title. Remember I texted you that?
Yes. Yes, you did.
All right, we're going to play a game, and it's called 5-second rule. So here's the thing, Kanye. We have 5 seconds. Remember that, 5 seconds to have 3 answers within 5 seconds. And then you hit the thing afterwards. I'm going to do it first so you know how fast 5 seconds goes. All right? Goes fast.
Okay, Ellen, tell us 3 things you shave or wax.
Your legs, your arms, your back.
Wax. All right, Kanye, give us 3 things that are hairy.
Balls, balls, balls.
Yep. Balls, balls, balls?
Yeah.
Okay. Maybe,
3 balls.
3 sets of balls.
okay, maybe. I'm not sure if I explained the rules properly. So, 3 different things, and balls maybe could have counted for
3
2.
different balls.
No. All right. Give him that point, and he'll learn. Okay.
Okay, Ellen, name 3 ways to surprise your spouse.
You get a string orchestra. You rent out a stadium, and you. All right, we know when time is up. You don't need to.
Okay.
Give him a hard one.
Name 3 things that get you in trouble with your spouse.
The internet. I didn't get that one?
No.
That's all right.
We all had so many ideas in our heads. All right, go ahead.
Okay, Ellen, name 3 things you always forget.
This kind of question.
Yeah, name 3 things you do when no one is looking.
Smile.
Ellen, name 3 reasons why you'd be in handcuffs.
you know, the downfall of Kanye West is directly related to Don C not being around.
Wow.
And because at the very beginning of my career, right when I was blowing up and Manop was managing me, because Manop manages me now again, and we, you know, we rebuilding, you know, what I can do, and it's a new, speaking third person, it's a new Kanye West that you're going to see that's going to be better because of this mental health situation. It's going to be better because of this TMZ situation, and Don is actually, he's icing it down right now because I just told him I need him to be there for me so shit like this don't happen to me. Because it's...
Now I got to return the hug.
I think it's
That's what family's for. That's what family's for. And you came home to see your family.
Do you feel like music is a real outlet for you, Kanye? Like if you couldn't press record, it's not about us hearing it, it's about actually making it.
Oh yeah, and that's the thing, it's like I'm so blessed and so privileged, because think about people that have mental issues that are not Kanye West, that can't go and make that and make it feel like it's all good. Think about somebody that does exactly what I did at TMZ and they just do that at work, right? But then Tuesday morning they come in and they lost their job.
Yeah, bro.
And they can't go back and make that. You know, that's why God put that on me as age 40. I never been diagnosed till I was like 39 years old and stuff. So put that on me as...
What do you mean by diagnosed?
Diagnosed with a mental condition.
Okay.
Yeah.
And we, I think, does everyone have something?
I think everybody got something. I think everybody got something. But like I said, on the album I said it's not a disability, it's a superpower.
Right. And when you, and I know...
A year and a half after I got out the hospital, and I would go to Amoeba record store and I just start chopping up samples. And it's very therapeutic because I wasn't full Ye. I don't know if I'm full Ye now, or better or worse, whatever, but it was therapeutic just to listen to those songs and sample and go back to being 14 years old in my mom's house. I feel like you avoided this album title.
Yeah, no, I don't.
I mean what it says right here on the
I hate
title.
being bipolar. It's awesome. I have a theory about you, so tell me if this is correct. I feel like you feel like being bipolar is part of what makes you brilliant, part of what makes you you, and you embrace it.
Yeah, I think that's another one of those things where people are like, how are you going to talk about it? The funny thing is, this is something I was like on the internet before. It was kind of funny, but it's not an opposite. It's not I hate being bipolar, it's awesome. It's actually, it drives more of how you really feel. It doesn't do an opposite thing. So I think it's important for us to have conversations about, you know, open conversations about mental health, especially with me being Black, because we never had therapists in the Black community. We never approached like taking medication. And I think it's good that when I had my first complete blackout at age 5, my mom didn't fully medicate me because I might have never been Ye. And there's times where at least I'm happy that I know, like even like for this interview, I knew I wanted to stay in a calm state because by the time I got to TMZ, I was ramped up. So what was awesome is that the world got to really experience someone in a ramped up state. And that's when you get these comments that just shoot out, like almost like Tourette's.
Because you have highs and lows. And when you have a high, you're on a roll. And when you have a low, you're not.
Well, there's some cases of bipolar where people go low. I'm one that goes high. Like Michelle Obama said.
So you don't have extreme periods of depression?
Oh, no.
No. Oh.
No. Because I just say it. I'll say on real TV, like, oh, I thought about killing myself, and then the thought is gone, you know?
Wow. So all people need to do is get on TV. That's really the solution. So all people need to do is get on TV. That's really the solution.
Well, they need to be able to express themselves without fear of judgment. What I love telling people is like, who do you know? And let's go, especially Black men, but, you know, I'm 41 years old, and I don't know anyone, you know, that up as much as I have that's still as successful. So I want to prove that you can get fat, you can say the wrong things, you can piss a whole
and you
city
can be
off.
president of the United States.
Well, yeah, it's
But just in literal terms, there are families being torn apart at the border of this country. There are literally families being torn apart as a result of what this president is doing. And I think that, you know, we cannot forget that, whether we like his personality or not, his actions are really what matter. I mean, you so famously and so powerfully said George Bush doesn't care about black people. It makes me wonder what makes you think that Donald Trump does, or any people at all. Why don't we take a break? We'll come back, and Kanye West is here.
Define it for me. What is the mechanism that is malfunctioning or is taking a break in your brain? Do you know?
I wouldn't be able to explain that as much, just, you know, because I'm not a doctor. I can just tell you what I'm feeling at the time. And I feel a heightened connection with the universe when I'm ramping up. It is a health issue. This is like a sprained brain, like having a sprained ankle. And if someone has a sprained ankle, you're not gonna push on him more.
Right.
With us, once our brain gets to a point of spraining, people do everything to make it worse.
And the memory of your mother, you carry with you each day, and who are her grandchildren?
This would have been the funnest time of her life, to have those kids running around that house and being able to like go and buy them toys. And I remember my mother bought me a bear that was multicolored, and I was very into Takashi Murakami at that time on that third album, Graduation. So she bought it. She said it kind of, you know, feels like Takashi Murakami. And then I was sort of like, I don't want that. That ain't no Takashi Murakami bear and stuff like that. And then she passed, you know, a few weeks after, and I did, you know, everything I could to find that bear and place that bear on top of all the Takashi Murakami stuff I had in the house.
Yeah.
But, you know, she's here with us, and she's guiding us.
May end up being the most tragic loss of all.
George Bush doesn't care about black people.
Please call.
In the past few days,
we're going to hear from him in a moment, but first, as we've mentioned, President Bush opens up in his new memoir about that famous moment when West said George Bush doesn't care about black people. It's something I asked President Bush about when we sat down recently in Texas.
I didn't appreciate it then, and I don't appreciate it now. It's one thing to say, you know, I don't appreciate the way he's handled his business. It's another thing to say this man's a racist. I resent it. It's not true. And it was one of the most disgusting moments of my presidency.
Two-term president who ran the country during Katrina, 9/11, wars in Iraq and Afghanistan, and the financial meltdown. And he's pointing the finger at Kanye West and that incident as the worst moment in his presidency. I asked Kanye West to respond to President Bush's remarks.
As far as it being the worst moment of his presidency, you know, I can't really speak to that, you know, but as his take, his explanation, I completely agree with, and I empathize with totally. And I felt like that the entire time, that, you know, I was being, you know, hailed as a hero, and everyone saying, yo, I'm so happy you said that, and I didn't like you before, but now I like you because you said this. And you just sit there and you know in your heart as a person that an emotion, you know, in a moment of emotion, to peg someone or to call a name or peg someone as a racist is not, it's it's just not right.
Yeah, there was great frustration with the response to Hurricane Katrina. And there we were standing there. It was just a few days, less than a week afterward. But while most people express frustration, you did take it across the line. And you said you made it a little more sinister, that the federal response to Katrina was because of race. And so do you regret having said that now?
I don't want to speak on the word regret. And I think a lot of things that happen in America, period, are because of race, just the way this country was built and the struggles we've had to get into, positions, through media, through social positions, through gentrification, through like so many. It's a way bigger conversation than that. But what I wanted to speak to with Bush was just to say that I empathize with the idea of being pegged as a racist.
Just play the tape. Don't even listen this time. I want you to just look at his face when he is commenting about you. And just look at him. I mean, this is the most emotional he got during my entire 3.5-hour interview with him. What would you say to him if he would meet with you face to face? And I'm not sure he would, but if he would.
I mean, I didn't need you guys to show me the tape in order to like prompt my emotion to what I'm going to say.
No, I'm just asking you, when you look at his face, what would you say to him?
I mean, pre-looking at his face, I came up here because I wanted to say something to him right after the fact. I would say, what I'm saying? It's like I don't even have to do the TV stuff with me. This is the reality. This is the real thing going on. This is, what I'm saying? I don't need all the jazz. I would say can we be quiet for a second? I would tell George Bush, in my moment of frustration, that I didn't have the grounds to call him a racist.
And you're sorry.
Yeah, I'm sorry for...
I think I get the point.
I want to give it the exact perfect wording, because everything that I say gets taken and drawn into headlines, and I'm here to man up to different mistakes that I made and speak to the moment when I pegged George Bush as a racist. I came here to say that I made mistakes, that I've grown as a person, and that it's not as easy as boxing someone into a villain role or into a race role. I did not have the enough information in that situation to call him a racist. That might have been the emotion that I felt. But me being a rational, well thought out, empathetic human being, and thinking about it after the fact, I would have chosen different words. Even in these times where I was considered to have done something so wrong, my motivation was from a good place. Maybe mistimed, maybe not the right wording, not using or realizing the power of my words and the way they would stop the internet. But nonetheless, that it's very pure and from a good place.
So it sounds to me, and not to oversimplify it, what you're saying is we're human, we make mistakes, but we have to learn from our mistakes.
Yeah.
And during the interview, Kanye West also told me that he empathized with President Bush because he too, talking about Kanye here, was called a racist when he interrupted Taylor Swift at the 2009 MTV Music Awards. As we often do on Today, we rolled video of that moment during his answer. We're going to show you his reaction in a moment. But after our interview, Kanye fired off several tweets, including this one. Quote, "I really wonder if Matt Lauer thought that blank was cool to play the MTV clip while I was speaking about Bush," end quote. Here's the moment Kanye's talking about. We're alluding to when you walked onto the VMAs and grabbed the mic from Taylor Swift, and some people said this wasn't a guy expressing his musical preference.
Yeah.
This was a guy who was making a statement about race, that Beyonce was better than Taylor Swift, and you got accused of racism.
Yeah, exactly. And it was so funny to me that it could be a race thing, because where I was expressing was my frustration from years and years of seeing, Yo, how am I supposed to talk if you're gonna run this thing in the middle while I'm talking?
It's under. You won't be hearing it.
But I'm hearing
much.
it while I'm trying to talk.
Okay, can you take the sound out of the overheads, please? Just pick up. You said it wasn't a race thing.
Please don't let that happen again. It's like ridiculous.
You know, it's something we do every day when a guest is talking about an incident.
Y'all might as well get the music ready because it's finna take a while. When I had my accident, I found out at that moment, nothing in life is promised except death. If you had the opportunity to play this game of life, you need to appreciate every moment. A lot of people don't appreciate their moment until it's past. And then you gotta tell those Al Bundy stories. You remember when I? But right now is my time and my moment, thanks to the fans, thanks to the accident, thanks to God, thanks to Rockefeller, Jay-Z, Dame Dash, G, my mother, Rhyme Fest, everyone that's helped me. And I plan to celebrate. I plan to celebrate and scream and pop champagne every chance I get, because I'm at the Grammys, baby. I know everybody asked me the question. They wanted to know what kind. I know he's gonna wild out and he's gonna do something crazy. Everybody wanted to know what I would do if I didn't win. I guess we'll never know.
You look beautiful, Lindsay.
Why, with Paris tonight, Lindsay?
Lindsay, we love you, Lindsay. Yeah. That's enough, man. That's enough.
I'm sorry, Lindsay, what did you say?
What?
Lindsay, Paris is the what?
She's the cat?
She's kidding. I love Paris Hilton.
What did you say a second ago about Paris?
Hey,
Why is Paris a c***?
All right, Lindsay.
Lindsay, why is Paris a c***?
I never said that.
We got you saying a second ago.
Tell them Dirty Gates Entertainment.
Paris is your friend.
Lindsay loves Paris.
No, I love her. She's
Snuff.
I love you. She's my friend.
Are you being sarcastic, Lindsay? Have a good night, Lindsay.
Bye. Good night, Lindsay.
Thank you, Lindsay. Take care, all right?
All right, Lindsay. Thank you.
Why, with Paris tonight, Lindsay? I'm sorry, Lindsay, what did you say?
What?
Lindsay, Paris is the what?
She's kidding. I love Paris Hilton.
What did you say a second ago about Paris?
Dude. Pocket pop. That's all it's up. Tell them Dirty Gates Entertainment.
Paris is your friend.
All right, man. Snuff. Good night, Lindsay. Thank you.
See you later, sexy.
What's going on with Lindsay saying bad things about Paris? What's going on? What's going on there?
Oh, I don't think there's any discord at all between Lindsay and Paris. I think the two of them get along just really great.
All right.
I mean, that's my impression.
So how are the evening's festivities with all the girls hanging out together? Lindsay, Paris, Nicole?
Well, let me tell you, for me it's all just a joy, and I get tremendous delight and energy from the sustenance of these lovely ladies.
Is Amanda the new Lindsay? Wow, I hate asking that, but brand new reports say former Nickelodeon star Amanda Bynes is about to check into rehab. Sound familiar? Amanda is in a whole heap of trouble with the law lately. She's actually showing shades of a once troubled Lindsay Lohan. I sat down with a poised, impressively mature 21-year-old Amanda Bynes, who explained to me then why she and Lindsay Lohan didn't have much in common at all.
You clearly have your act together. Let me go through my little checklist here. You haven't been to jail?
No.
No jail?
Not yet.
Rehab?
No.
No rehab. Amanda Bynes, what kind of a starlet are you?
I know. What's wrong with me? I don't know. It's shocking how it's become popular to go to rehab, right? It's very odd, but I don't know. I guess I would say I'm very lucky. I have a great family, and I just have my eye on the prize, which for me is a long career, and I don't want to blow what I've worked so hard to achieve.
Well, that certainly is the right attitude, and I'm happy to hear you saying that. Yet I know that you must deal with a lot of the same pressures that somebody like Lindsay Lohan does, and you two are the same age. Britney Spears has a lot of pressure as well, and all these stars that we do see getting into trouble. Yet you've really managed to stay away from all that and not fall into those traps. Yet I have to imagine you could see where that might be easy to do and why it happens.
Well, I agree to a certain point. For me, it's not that hard. To me, I get that, if you go to clubs and you hang out with those people, that maybe it would be easy. But I'm not interested in that. The club scene and drinking doesn't appeal to me. So it's actually easier for me not to do it. I have no problem. I've never even been offered drugs. And people, when I've told them, have been shocked.
And what town do you live in? Yeah.
I know, because I don't go. Even if I'm there, I'm surrounded by people who aren't interested in that. Birds of a feather flock together,
sure.
And I definitely don't fly with that crowd.
Well, and certainly for a long time, you have had people around you. It comes with the business. People make your life more comfortable. And the thing that escapes a lot of people is the reason there are certain luxuries that stars are afforded is because of the work. We make sure this is taken care of, or you have a driver so you can do better at doing your job. But a lot of that gets into people's heads, and they have the wrong attitude about entitlement.
I agree.
And all of that. So
I think people take advantage of the opportunities and the things that people do give you. For me, I'm just grateful. I appreciate that people and anything that anyone does for me. Maybe it's because I have parents who worked really hard to earn money. My dad was a dentist for 30 years. He went to USC. He wasn't given anything. His parents worked really hard to. He didn't grow up wealthy. So I saw, and my dad used to always teach me the value of a dollar.
I so badly want to be Catherine Hudson that I don't even want to look like Katy Perry anymore sometimes.
Okay.
And that is a little bit of why I cut my hair, is because I really want to be my authentic self,
yes.
100%. And so it hurts, when I don't feel like I can.
What was going on in my life at 15, and that's how I got introduced to the music industry. I swear I wanted to be like the Amy Grant of music. Yeah. But it didn't work out, and so I sold my soul to the devil.
Did you ever have some bouts of where Katy just didn't want to go on?
Yeah, I wrote a song about it.
Okay.
That's what I guess I do. That's how I process, is I write songs.
And you get rid of those feelings, those
yeah,
feelings.
Some of them don't come out fully, and that's why I still do the work.
Which song was that? What lyric comes to your mind?
By the Grace of God.
Okay. They're very close to you. They're very close. heartfelt?
It's hard, like I say, I get on tour.
Okay.
And it's hard because I'm ashamed.
Oh.
Because, of course, Katy Perry's so strong.
I'm talking to Catherine. She's sitting back.
But it's hard because I feel ashamed that I would even like have those thoughts, you know? I'd feel that low or that depressed.
Inadmissible evidence. It's not allowed in the courtroom. Has no basis whatsoever, nobody to back it up, nobody to say it's legit. And why is it being shown? Very curious. They constantly say that she is impaired. I tell you that what you're looking at there is an alter, which is what happens when you use trauma-based mind control. You split the mentality of these people into fractures, like a mirror. And each personality doesn't know the other personality. And what we see in this tape, and we're going to look at one more time, is Anna as a 4-year-old child. You'll notice that she doesn't have any idea of what Howard K. Stern is talking about when he asks her about the mushroom trip. She has no idea what he's talking about when he says this footage will be worth money. And I can tell you straight up right now that this is a 4-year-old girl mentality that you're looking at, and this is her original alter that we're going to witness.
What do you think, Anna? Is she going to be, is Riley going to be your new makeup artist?
Huh?
Is Riley going to be your new makeup artist?
We're gonna use these first, Bubby.
Have you found a new makeup artist?
I don't know. You can open your eyes. Close them. You said open them. Now close them. I wish you could go on the water slides. But you're pregnant. If you're pregnancy, your heart's bad. If you have a broken bone or a back condition.
Say that again. Say it again.
I think I'm having some gas trouble. Why aren't you pooting then, or does it hurt? It hurts, and I need some gas poot stuff so I can poot it out. He does. Do you have some? The clown needs some medicine.
How do you feel now?
I can't move.
You can't move.
Why can't I move?
You're paralyzed. Just like that day when you did nothing. You did nothing. Now, sink into the floor.
Wait.
Sink.
That could only be the musical stylings of Victor Oladipo, who is the reigning two-time champion of the All-Star Weekend player talent show.
You are talented. I give you a little credit on that. A lot of credit. You're very talented. I mean, you're not a karaoke guy like me, but you can actually. You know they call me Old Brown Eyes, right?
As a matter of fact, you both have experience singing New York, New York. His was at the Slam Dunk Contest. Yours was in Vegas.
Yes.
We had the show out there. Here's just a little sampling. You see those two mics back there?
You made up your own words.
You see those?
Wait, that was the words.
The Rockets have now won 17 of their last 18 at home and 12 in a row in their gym. They've only lost one game at home since February 9th, and that was to Golden State. But now they've beaten Golden State twice in this series, and we're all knotted up at 2 apiece. Welcome to Inside. Shaq's right there. Kenny's right there. Chuck is down there.
What's up, man?
Were you mugging over here?
No, never, Ernie.
Yes, you were.
Ernie.
I don't know what you were doing.
I've been in love with you since 1989. I would never do that to you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. And 12 in a row in their gym. They've only lost one game at home since February 9th, and that was to Golden State. But now they've beaten Golden State twice in this series, and we're all knotted up at 2 apiece. Welcome to Inside. Shaq's right there. Kenny's right there.
But it's been a heck of a ride, to be honest. I really can't complain. I was kind of I was a little down when I found out I was injured and I had to have surgery again, or with another knee. But at the end of the day, I have amazing teammates. Guys like Draymond, everybody on this team, they come over there, they wrap their hands around me like, yo, we got.
Bro, watch my nigga Jalen Rose though. Look at my nigga Jalen Rose. Tell me that's a fucking robot or some shit. That ain't no fucking human being. Look at this nigga. He didn't move, blink, or nothing. Bro, look at this shit. This nigga a robot too, man. They got my nigga. That's my nigga. He from my city. Dog, they got him too. Dog, this shit wicked than a bitch. I just peeped this shit watching the game in the finals.
Marshall Mathers. Some of you may know him as Eminem, but he's going to join the Saturday night crew with our music intro starting next Saturday night. But folks, I want to take you to the world premiere of one of his new videos called Berserk. Take a listen.
Yeah, sorry. Live TV. Live TV freaks me out a little bit.
No.
Yes, I'm sorry. What was the question? Yeah, I'm really uncomfortable right now. Okay.
Fans, she's not going to do anything to you.
Bye, Dada.
Well,
when I was making love to my old boyfriend, I used to think about women sometimes.
Oh, good Lord. I'm sure he was delighted when you told him, because...
I'm feeling great, I feel nervous, a little bit overwhelmed. I feel a little shaky, I don't know what's wrong with me. No, but it's good. No, it's good. You look good. It's a question. You look great.
You're like, answer my question, but I'm not asking one.
Well, it's like, we're out of time, so I have to let you go. It says toss to break. Just acknowledging all of the accolades and success and the talent. Great to see you all. Congratulations. See you at the Oscars. And here's me not asking a question. We'll be right back. We'll be right back. Stay with us. And if you miss any of my interviews or G's interviews, don't forget eonline.com. Keep it there. Get all the Grammy stuff. Ladies and gentlemen, we're right back.
We'll see you later.
You have to be cured.
It was horrible.
Of course it was horrible. Violence is a very horrible thing. That's what you're learning now. Your body's learning it.
I just don't understand about feeling sick the way I did. I never used to feel sick before. I used to feel like the very opposite. I mean, doing it or watching it, I used to feel real horror show.
You felt ill this afternoon because you're getting better. You see, when we're healthy, we respond to the presence of the hateful with fear and nausea. You're becoming healthy, that's all. By this time tomorrow, you'll be healthier still.
As this 1952 CIA memo says, the aim is controlling an individual to the point where he will do our bidding against his will, and even against such fundamental laws of nature as self-preservation. But it was a discovery here in Basel, Switzerland, at Sandoz Laboratories by Dr. Albert Hoffman, that led the intelligence agencies of America to believe that they had found the panacea. The discovery was lysergic acid diethylamide, LSD. The film that you see is considered by many experts to be the closest illustration of the effects of a hallucinogenic.
It was one of the first times that anybody had run into a powerful drug that was different than anything else that they knew anything about.
John Gittinger, recently retired chief psychologist for the CIA. This is the first time Gittinger has been interviewed publicly.
We could disable a whole city by putting a very small amount on a water supply. After all of these years of us, those of us who are involved in looking for this secret drug, this was the only thing that began to look for the first time like it might be something like that.
The CIA's interest in LSD was intense. The worry was that the Russians would get hold of it. Were the Soviets into LSD?
I'm going to have to say I'm sure they were, but if you ask me to prove it, I've never seen any direct proof of it.
Moscow is in the midst of the last hours of summer.
Brainwashing, hypnosis, and even surgical manipulation of the human brain has all been researched thoroughly by the CIA.
To provide an objective record of a subject's behavior, she's filmed before treatment and again after treatment, and the two films placed side by side. Notice how the subject before treatment, in the picture on the right, holds onto the chair as she moves. Notice the difference in posture, the greater effort required to rise from the chair, the longer time needed to complete the simple task.
He would cut the skin, take the skin flap back, roll it back. He would then literally remove the skull, the top part of the skull. The patient all this time is under a local anesthetic, completely conscious.
From my own point of view, the most unexpected finding was to discover that a mild electrical current applied to the surface of the brain causes a patient to have a memory from his own past sometimes.
Imagine you cut your skull open and somebody touch your brain with their hand. How that would hurt you.
What in the world were they looking for with the magic mushrooms?
I think the best answer to that is that they were looking for fundamental information on compounds that would be capable of causing changes in behavior, changes in mental attitude.
Did you ever consider what would have happened if any of these substances were given to, say, unwitting people?
Oh, I don't remember having considered that specifically.
What if you, I trust perhaps you've thought about it.
Well, I haven't worried about it. Your question again, what would I have thought had I known that
any of these substances would
have been given to
unwitting persons?
You mean a hostile agent of another government?
No, I mean
think that was probably one of the things they had in mind.
I mean testing it out on an American citizen.
I guess I must seem very, very cold-blooded about this, but I don't recall ever having been very much preoccupied with that issue.
But many drugs were tested in this way. A decision was made at the highest levels of the CIA to do testing on unwitting Americans. As one CIA document says, such testing would be operationally realistic. A former CIA official who worked on these programs describes for the first time how the decision was made. He did not wish to be filmed or recorded. Thus his remarks are read by someone else.
I think every last one of us felt sorry to attempt this kind of thing. We knew we were crossing the line. Every decent kid knows he shouldn't steal, but he does it sometimes. We knew damn well we didn't want anyone else to know what we were doing.
The decision was made to do testing on unwitting victims. It was decided they should be on the fringes of society because they were most vulnerable.
It was the borderline underworld, prostitutes, drug addicts, and other small-timers who would be powerless to seek any kind of revenge in case they found out.
History will judge the role of the CIA and other intelligence agencies in unwittingly contributing to the counterculture of the 60s through their intense interest in LSD and other hallucinogenics. But for the moment at least, the argument can be made that the CIA helped usher in the age of Aquarius. By far, the most chilling experiments we have uncovered took place at this Gothic estate called Ravenscrag, halfway up Mount Royal in Montreal. It houses the Allen Memorial Institute of Psychiatry of McGill University. It was here that the CIA funded a series of experiments, severe experiments. The work was done by the Institute's then director, Dr. Ewan Cameron. It is the closest experimentation to brainwashing yet disclosed. His work, unprecedented in psychiatry, consisted of 3 areas which he called sleep therapy, psychic driving, and the ultimate depatterning. Dr. Maurice Dongier, current head of the Allen Memorial Institute.
In his psychic driving, so-called type of therapy, he would give the patient intensive electric treatment in order to make the patient regress deeply, become forgetful, and then he would attempt to implant new ideas in the mind of the patient.
Now, to a layman, it would appear that Dr. Cameron was trying to take the slate and wipe it clean, the slate being the mind. In other words, brainwashing.
Exactly, that's a very good comparison.
The next step was what he called psychic driving. This involved almost endless tape-recorded messages and more drugs for the patient. Cameron wrote that this was the way to make direct controlled changes in personality. The most severe technique Cameron used was depatterning. He described it as breaking up the existing patterns of behavior by means of intensive electroshock therapy with prolonged periods of sleep. He carried out these experiments in something he called the sleep rooms. But documents clearly show that the CIA was attempting to develop agents over whom they had as much control as possible. Agents who would perform tasks contrary to their own good.
Normally conditioned American who's been trained to kill and then to have no memory of having killed. His brain has not only been washed, as they say, it has been dry cleaned.
Is a Manchurian candidate, controlled by others to do things against his will, possible?
I would say the answer is yes, but there are many qualifications to that.
Dr. Milton Klein, a psychologist, a clinical and experimental hypnotist, and unpaid consultant to the CIA.
The qualifications would be the subject selected to produce the kind of behavior that you wish, the amount of time, the procedures that are utilized, and the motivations of the people who are designing, executing, and administering the procedures. You're asking whether an individual can be, under hypnosis, influenced, coerced, persuaded, shaped to perform an antisocial act, or a destructive act, or an act of violence. My answer would be yes.
Cameron used this combined sleep electroshock treatment on patients as long as 30 days. One patient he kept asleep for 65 days. Cameron retired, and his successor, Dr. Robert Cleghorn, ordered a follow-up study on the patients treated with Cameron's de-patterning method.
Showed that it was no more beneficial in its result than the use of more conservative methods.
But the follow-up study showed that 60% of those who had been de-patterned still had amnesia for periods of anywhere from 6 months to 10 years. That's quite a memory loss, isn't it?
That is a memory loss. Indeed it is. It's more, I think, more than desirable.
In retrospect, does Dr. Cameron's experimentation and his treatment appear harsh?
I would say yes. I mean, this forceful type of approach that I was describing to you is definitely, it can be said that it's harsh.
Neurophysicist Dr. Jose Delgado was financed by the Office of Naval Research. In this experiment, the bull is sedated. Electrodes are implanted in its brain. Delgado transmits an electronic impulse to the center of the bull's brain. Delgado has remote control of the animal. Recently released CIA documents refer to the feasibility of remote control of animals, and that special investigations will be conducted toward the application of selected elements of these techniques to man.
LSD was isolated by Stoll and Hoffman in a Sandoz pharmaceutical company of Basel, Switzerland. When in 1943 Hoffman became temporarily psychotic through accidental ingestion of the drug, the door swung wide open for research into the nature of the schizophrenic process and, in a larger sense, into the biochemistry of psychoses. TV's Paul Coates of Confidential File undertook to film a model psychosis in our laboratory in an attempt to impress upon the public, through a case of artificial insanity, that the mentally ill is not inhabited by the devil. The battery of psychological tests compressed into 4 short hours will not be shown here. Our attention will be focused on the experiences of our volunteer subject, Bill. It's exactly 12 o'clock and we're ready to start this experiment. I'm going to give you this cup that contains lysergic acid, 100 microgram. Will you drink it? How did it taste?
It had no taste.
How did it look?
Colorless.
Now, would you tell me your name, please?
William Millark.
1217. This is a good time to do the control EEG, so we go next door. In less than 2 hours, LSD will reach its climax. In most subjects, the alpha index drops, and the frequency analyzer will show the gradual emergence of the fast frequency bands. Single light flash will block the alpha waves for at least twice as long a period as it does now. It will modify each time the visual illusions Bill is expected to see as he lies in a dark cage with his eyes closed. Well, you told me not long ago that you were hungry.
What I'm hungry for is not this sort of thing, because I want to feed off of this feeling, this joy, which seems to be coming from everything. But somehow I don't seem like I myself. I feel as though I'm several other people, and all of them better, and all very benevolent. I mean, even I feel about that I'm not being I'm not describing the word benevolence the way I mean it.
What follows now is called by Bill a messianic experience. Universal love, joy, benevolence, and above all, the split between thought and feeling.
Close your eyes and just concentrate on your hands. Is there any difference in its weight, in its substance?
This one seems heavier.
The left one seems heavier?
Yeah, seems more positive.
Than the right?
Yeah, this seems more... There it is. I feel these lovely colors vibrating all over me. Oh, it's lovely.
Any lines?
Oh.
Any forms?
Just like the shimmering of water, you know.
You can put your hand down now. Come on, describe it. You feel happy now? Do you feel happy?
Yes.
Well, you must be, because you have tears in your eyes.
Oh.
Is that a beautiful experience, would you say?
I would say yes.
Describe it again.
Oh, I don't know. It's just giving and...
You're doing fine. Just try to describe it.
Oh, you don't know. You want to give yourself... You want to give yourself as much as you can.
What happens when I do this?
I don't know, sort of nothing much, except that sort of getting somewhere and you interrupted it.
I see.
Sort of irritating in a way, I suppose.
I know, but I thought that maybe we can rest a little bit, because this experience was getting to be a little overwhelming. Isn't that right?
Well, I wouldn't say. I'd like to keep it up.
305. This is where the LSD effect usually goes into a decline. But Bill is still at it.
But such benevolence.
What do you mean?
I feel very benevolent. I mean, I feel as though I have no enemies in the world, and this is very lovely.
Do you feel
very fragile, delicate, lovely, and it goes and comes, you know. I mean, that one state there that was, I never experienced anything like that. It's marvelous.
On the whole, do you feel happy, or do you feel...
I feel so happy.
What happened to this feeling, messianic feeling that you described before?
I feel that it's, if that's what I described, I feel that it's very valid.
Yes, but do you still have it as strongly now as you had before, or is it weakening?
It's weakening, I suppose, or it's becoming more well-defined, I suppose.
Do you have the general feeling, though, that you're coming down to earth, so to say?
Yes, I do.
One last burst of ecstasy. At the end of this hour, he noticed the weight of his mic, the sweat of his shirt, the stomach that was empty. He asked for food. A grandiose delusion implanted upon the loss of body feeling was over.
Mind sciences, or the study of human behavior in relation to the mind, is the newest of all the arts. It's less than 100 years old. And it is by far the one that is most cloaked in secrecy.
The origins of psychological warfare were in Nazi Germany, and in the Nazi ideology they had something that was called Weltanschauungskrieg, which means worldview warfare. The idea for them was imposing the Nazi worldview on the countries that they had occupied. The Americans picked up this idea, created an American version of it, and called that psychological warfare. In trying to understand psychological warfare and in trying to understand the American approach to the post-war efforts to control people's minds, both as individuals and on a mass scale. There's a lot of illusions about how that was done. Were Nazis involved in that process? Yes, they were.
Project Paperclip was a United States government-sanctioned CIA operation for the importation of Nazi and fascist scientists into the United States. Their statement was simply this: if we don't bring these people into this country and contain them, then our enemies, the Soviet Union, will get them. The first wave was to bring these scientists. There was 700 odd propulsion scientists, and then there were some 600 and some odd mind scientist people that they brought in. The CIA was given the responsibility of actually placing the individuals that had a Project Paperclip into the military-industrial complex, including our colleges and universities. Mind control was a psychological warfare weapon that Adolf Hitler regarded as the answer for taking over the entire planet. The name for the mind control research in this country was MKULTRA.
MKULTRA was one program, a series of programs that came out of the CIA to experiment with different types of mind control, using drugs, using electroshock, using insulin shock, and other techniques.
I think that the goal for those people who planned the program was very straightforward. It was an attempt to figure out a way to interrogate people and to learn how to protect their own agents against control by others. If you put someone in a position of being disabled by not feeding them or not allowing them to sleep or overwhelming them with sound, if you use massive shock treatment and you give people massive doses of drugs such as PCP or mescaline or amphetamines or LSD, and if you put them in periods of darkness where they can't predict from one minute to another what is going to happen next, so they're always dreading, there's no consistency to sort of what's going to happen, anybody can be put in a position of being open to brainwashing. Ewan Cameron was probably the foremost psychiatrist of his time in the 1950s. He was using high-tech sound techniques. He was using multiple kinds of loop recorders to force people to listen to recorded messages 24 hours a day for weeks on end to basically destroy people's thinking patterns.
The lysergic acid into the vein, and he patted me on the shoulder and said, "Now there, lassie, we'll see you later." And I started to feel very frightened, and the fright became a terror. And I sort of began throwing myself from one side of the room to the other. I didn't know what to do to stop this feeling. It felt like my bones were melting, that I just didn't know who I was anymore.
This is not just break-ins of people's homes. It's not just invasions of privacy by illegal wiretapping. This is an invasion of a person's mind. And that is about as profound an injury, except for loss of life, that the government can impose.
This was a post-Nazi program, if you will. It was an Americanization.
I've often made the statement, and I still make it flippantly. The Nazis didn't lose the war. They just had to move.
Now it's 50 years later. Now they're much more clever, much more sophisticated. They have a lot more money to spend.
Too scared to stand up for something. They scared to lose their fucking house. Or they scared to lose their record deal. I sold my soul to the devil. I know it's a crappy deal. Lisa came with a few toys like a Happy Meal.